Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking through some MLB player props I like for today, for Monday, July the 11th. We got 10 games on Monday. I think we do have one early game. It's part of a doubleheader, but we got 9 games at night, so we're going to talk through some player props I like for today. I found 3 props that stood out to me taking a first look at the board on Sunday night. Just got pitcher props added, went through, tried to find the props I like the most at first look, and I kind of have 3 circled right now. So as always, guys, we'll talk through the 3 plays I like for today. Just before we do get started, make sure you hit that like button down below. I always appreciate the likes. If you're new to the channel, you have not yet, hit that subscribe button. And also, if you're new to Prizepicks, you have not signed up for Prizepicks yet, make sure to sign up over there. Use my promo code Noah, and Prizepicks will match your first deposit up to $100 when you do sign up with my promo code. And another thing, if you enjoy these videos on YouTube, if they help you out a lot, if my content helps you out and you want to get more content from me, you want to get more Prizepicks plays from me, I provide those over on Patreon. You can check out the Patreon. It's linked down below in the description. If that is something that does interest you, if you want to get additional Prizepicks plays from me, those are provided over on Patreon. But before we do talk through our plays for Monday, we can recap our plays for Friday, which was the last time that we made a video. Decided not to upload over the weekend. Just kind of wanted to take a little bit of a break, especially with how poorly we've been doing on our MLB plays lately. MLB, it's a long sport, man. It lasts a while. It lasts all the way up until October, and it's not something that I feel like I want to have to force myself to upload every single day the entire summer. So I definitely want to give myself some time off. So I think on the weekends, not sure yet if I'm going to upload like every weekend, but I definitely want to get videos up Monday through Friday at least. But yeah, just decided not to upload over the weekend. But on Friday, in Friday's video, we gave out 3 plays. Didn't have a great day Friday, just went 1 and 2 on the 3 plays that we gave out Friday. We did hit the over on Blake Snell's strikeouts. Blake Snell had a great game against the Giants, went I think 6 innings, got 11 strikeouts, and we only needed 6 from him. We took over 5.5, so that one hit very easily. The 2 plays, though, that did not hit were over 5 strikeouts for Chris Bassett. And Chris Bassett didn't even pitch that bad of a game. He just couldn't get any strikeouts. I think he went 6 innings, maybe 5 2/3, something like that. I think he went 6 innings. Just only got 3 strikeouts though. He just wasn't able to miss any bats. And I like that prop a lot. I thought, at that line that it was at 5, that was a really good bet. I felt like worst case scenario, Bassett would be able to push and get us 5 Ks, but he just couldn't miss any bats on Friday. And again, it is what it is. That line got bumped up to like 6 after I made my video. I was able to get it in at 5. I felt like it was a great bet, and unfortunate that it just didn't come through. And then the other play we took was over 24.5 fantasy score for Aaron Ashby. And of course, Aaron Ashby finishes with 24. He comes up just short, needed 1 more fantasy point from him, and he pitched a pretty bad game. Like, he only went 5 innings. He got pulled very early in that game as well. He only threw like 72 pitches through those 5 innings. Pitched 5 innings, gave up 2 runs, had just 3 strikeouts, which was another really weird thing. I mean, Ashby is a really good strikeout pitcher. The Pirates strike out a lot against lefties, and Ashby had just 3 Ks on Friday. So not a great game from Ashby. Finished with 24 fantasy points, came up 1 short. Tough day. It's been tough with MLB lately, but we just got to keep grinding it out, man. Just got to keep putting in the work, putting in the research, and in the end, I definitely feel like if I'm doing the right research, if I'm making the right decisions, that my plays are going to hit more times than not. But this recent stretch has definitely been tough. The way I look at it when it comes to DFS, to betting player props, to just gambling in general, sports betting, whatever it may be, I've been doing this probably since like 2016, 2017. That's when I first started up my YouTube channel. I've been doing this for like 5-6 years now. When you go through these type of stretches, these rough stretches, you just can't get too down on yourself. You just kind of you got to continue to trust the process, the work you're putting in, the research you're doing. Don't get too down on yourself. And then, obviously, we're going to have some good runs as well. And during those good runs, during those highs, you don't want to go too crazy. You don't want to be betting too much, or betting more than you can afford. So that's just a little bit of advice for you guys. I know we're in a rough stretch right now, but I know we're going to bounce back at some point. We're going to have a good day, and hopefully we'll have a string of good days after that as well. But before we talk through our 3 plays for today, guys, just again hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Sign up for Prizepicks if you haven't yet. Use promo code Noah. Get that deposit bonus when you sign up. But talking through our 3 plays for today, we got 2 fantasy score props that I like, and then we have a first inning prop that I like. And I know the first inning props can be a little bit volatile, but this is one that I do like quite a bit. But we'll start off with the fantasy score, and the first fantasy score that I like for today is going to be Mitch Keller, and I like his over 21.5 pitcher fantasy score. I think this line is a few points too low, especially for this matchup against the Marlins. The Marlins So far this year versus right-handed pitching, if you look at their stats on the season, they're actually not that bad. Like the Marlins, in terms of strikeout rate versus right-handed pitching, they're 17th with a 22.2% K rate, so they're about league average. And in terms of like their offensive statistics, like they're not terrible. I mean, they're top 10 in batting average, on base percentage. Miami ranks 14th. So about middle of the pack in most categories. In slugging, in terms of slugging, I think they're about middle of the pack here as well. They're 11th in terms of slugging. OPS, Miami ranks 10th. So their numbers on the season versus righties are not bad. When you look over the last 30 days, this is a team that has been struggling a lot more lately and just hasn't been hitting the ball nearly as well. And they've also been striking out more lately. If you look at where they rank in terms of K rate, 23.6% K rate over the last 30 days for Miami, which is top 10 in the league. And their offensive numbers are not nearly as good. In terms of batting average, they're bottom 10, 24th in batting average. In terms of on-base percentage, Miami ranks 28th, so they're bottom 3rd in that category. In terms of slugging, Miami's bottom 10 as well in that category. They rank 20th. OPS, they are 24th. So their season-long numbers versus righties are not terrible, but their recent stats, last 30 days, look a lot worse, and they've also been striking out more as well, top 10 K rate. So I think the matchup here for Mitch Keller is pretty good. Now, Mitch Keller, by no means is he like an amazing pitcher. I mean, he's just kind of like an average pitcher. He's got, a 19% K rate this year. He has a 5.21 ERA, which is pretty high, but his expected ERA is a little bit lower, 4.6 expected ERA. So, might be getting a little bit unlucky. He'll giving up a 350 WOBA, which is not great, but it's not terrible either. 273 expected batting average, 461 expected slugging. You look at his percentile rankings. I mean, most of them are, about average to slightly below average. But I think this is just all targeting the matchup here. Mitch Keller is a pitcher that I think in this matchup against a pretty mediocre Marlins lineup can come through and get us 22 fantasy points. It's also a good pitcher's park. They're going to be playing in Miami, which is one of the more friendly ballparks to pitch in. And really, in order for Mitch Keller to go over this fantasy score, he's just got to get us a quality start, which I think he can do. He's been getting his pitch count has been way higher lately. They've been letting him throw deeper into games. It's just a matter of him being able to pitch efficiently and not have really long innings. But over his last 7 starts, he's thrown at least 90 pitches now in 7 straight starts, and he has gone at least 6 innings in 3 of those 7 starts. He went 6 innings in his most recent start against the Yankees. Tough matchup, but he still did go over his fantasy score in that game. He finished with I think 27 fantasy score. I had the game log pulled up. Yeah, 27 fantasy score in that start. He had to start recently, even in a tough matchup against the Giants, got 31 fantasy score. Like, he's had some pretty tough spots lately. He had to face the Nationals, a team that doesn't strike out much at all. He had to face the Rays, obviously a team that does strike out, but came up just short of his fantasy score that game, 21 fantasy points. But he had to face the Cardinals, which is a tougher matchup, a team that doesn't strike out. He's had some good matchups, though, and he seemed to pitch well in good matchups. He got to face the Tigers on June 8th, had 40 fantasy points that start, which was his best start of the season. I think in a matchup like this against a pretty mediocre Marlins lineup, a Marlins team that will strike out, Mitch Keller can go 5-6 innings here, get us 4 or 5 strikeouts. I don't think he's going to get blown up. I don't think he's going to give up 4, 5, 6 runs. If he goes 6 innings, gives up 3 runs, and gets 3 strikeouts, that's 22 fantasy points because he gets 6 innings, quality start, and then the K's the K's offset the runs allowed. So really, if Keller can do that, he's going to go over his fantasy score, and I think we can get 22 fantasy score from Mitch Keller here. By no means am I expecting him to go out there and pitch a complete game shutout and get 12 strikeouts. He doesn't have to do that. If he goes 5 innings, gives up 3 runs, gets 5 strikeouts or 6 strikeouts, something like that, somewhere around there, he's going to go over his fantasy score. So I think this line is a few points too low when you factor in the good matchup, you factor in the pitcher's ballpark. I think we can get 22 fantasy points from Mitch Keller today. So I do like that as our first prop for today. And then our second prop, going to be going to Max Scherzer, and I'm really liking this one, over 37.5 pitcher fantasy score for Max Scherzer today. This is a prop that Max Scherzer has hit very often this season. Max Scherzer has made 9 starts this year. He has been injured for recently. I think he did just make his first start off of the IL, his most recent start against Cincinnati. He's only made 9 starts this season, but he has gone over 38 fantasy points. He's gotten 38 fantasy points or more in 6 out of 9 starts this year. And the 3 starts where he did not get 38 fantasy points, he had 37, 34, and 32. So he was right, at that number. Now, this matchup against the Braves is not like it's not one that you would love to target just because the Braves do have a good offense. They're a good lineup in general, but the Braves do strike out a lot, and that's something that is worth noting. They have been striking out a lot this season, and in terms of K rate on the year, they rank third, 24.8% strikeout rate, which is third highest in the league. Now, their offensive numbers are pretty solid, like batting average. They're 11th in batting average. On base percentage, Atlanta ranks about middle of the pack there. They're 17th. They do have a lot of power. They're slugging. They're second in slugging. They're top 10 in ISO. So this is definitely a good lineup. But I just think with how much this Braves team has been striking out and just with how good of a pitcher Max Scherzer is, he can get us 38 fantasy points today. And I was looking at his K prop. His K prop for today is currently set at 8. I have a hard time seeing Max Scherzer get 8 strikeouts but not get 38 fantasy points. For what it's worth, every game this season where he's gotten 8 strikeouts or more, he's gotten 38 fantasy points or more. He got 10 strikeouts against the Giants early this year, had 58 fantasy points, had 10 strikeouts against the Cardinals, 55 fantasy points, had 9 strikeouts against the Phillies, 39 fantasy points, and then his most recent start, he looked great, had 11 strikeouts and had 55 fantasy points. So I have a hard time seeing Max Scherzer get his K prop, get 8 strikeouts, but not get 38 fantasy points. That's the reason that I like his fantasy score and not strikeouts. Now, if this line maybe gets bumped down to like 7 or 7.5, maybe it could be worth taking. But I think while it's at 8, I would just rather side with fantasy score here. We know Scherzer is probably going to be able to pitch deep enough to get a quality start. He went 6 innings in his first start back from the IL. His pitch count was not like amazing. They only let him throw 79 pitches last start against Cincinnati, but you would think, he probably throws more than 79 pitches here. Like, I think his what's his pitches thrown prop at? Like, his pitches thrown prop is at 90.5. Like, I would think they probably let him go about 90, 91, 92 pitches. And if Scherzer throws 90, 92 pitches, he's probably going to go 6 innings. I wouldn't think he gives up 3 runs or more, so he should be able to get a quality start. And with how much the Braves have been striking out this year versus righties, third highest K rate in the league, this should definitely be a spot where Scherzer can get 6, 7, 8, maybe a double-digit strikeout game. I mean, we know Scherzer is an elite pitcher. He's one of the best pitchers in the league. You look at his rankings on Baseball Savant; they're amazing. I mean, every category he's top 10% in just about every category. Strikeout rate, walk percentage. I mean, all of his expected numbers are amazing. Only thing he does struggle with a little bit is he has been getting barreled up a little bit this year. He has been giving up some hard contact, but the Braves, they're a good lineup. They have a lot of power, but they also strike out a lot. And I think even if Scherzer does give up a few runs here, the Ks that he should be able to get in this matchup should offset that. And I think we can get 38 fantasy points from Max Scherzer today. This is a number that Scherzer has been able to go over in most of his starts this season. And he's just such a good pitcher. Like normally when you get spots like this where you have a good pitcher facing a good offense, I'm almost always going to side with the good pitcher just because we do see a lot of times these elite pitchers just be able to dominate no matter who they're going up against. So I like that as our second play for today, over 37.5 pitcher fantasy score for Max Scherzer. And then our third and final play, again, it's going to be a first inning prop, and I know these can be volatile. They're not ones I love to bet. Usually I only take these first inning props when I feel like it's a good bet, like when I feel like it has a good chance to hit or the odds are really good. And this is a spot where the odds are really good. And I like the Yerfy, so we're taking the yes there will be a running scored in the first inning in the Padres and Rockies game. So we're going to be taking the Yerfy over 0.5 first inning runs allowed in that game. And I'm just going to play the odds here. Right now, this game obviously has a massive total. It's being played in Coors Field. It's a spot where you expect there to be a lot of runs scored. And the odds on this are very good. Right now, over 0.5 first inning runs allowed in this game is set at minus 175 on DraftKings Sportsbook. Rarely do you see first inning props even be allowed. Like, rarely do you see a minus 175 first inning prop even be available on Prizepicks. Like, right now, the Braves and Mets game, that one is not available, and that's because you have Scherzer and Fried going up against each other. I think the odds are just too good on that Prizepicks doesn't want to offer it. I feel like the odds are too good on this. Like, I don't think Prizepicks should really be offering first inning props for Coors games, but in this one they are, and I'm going to be taking the over. We got Sean Manaea going up against Jose Urena. Now, Sean Manaea, like, he's not a bad pitcher by any means. He's pretty solid. But it is worth noting that the Rockies have been destroying left-handed pitching this year, and they have a very low K rate as well. If you look at their strikeout rate, they have one of the lowest K rates in the league, 18.9% K rate versus lefties this year, and their numbers are amazing. They have the best batting average in the league versus lefties. They have the best on-base percentage. In terms of slugging, they're top 10 in that category. They have the best OPS. In terms of ISO, they are just outside the top 10 in ISO, and then WRC+, Colorado's in the top 10 in that category as well. And even if you numb that down, look at their numbers at home. So look at home this year versus lefties. I mean, Colorado's numbers, they're amazing. Their K rate is still, lowest in the league, lowest strikeout rate in the league, and batting average, top on-base percentage, third best slugging, best OPS, ISO. They rank in ISO. They're just outside top 10 there. So clearly, Colorado has been doing well versus lefties this year, and especially when they're playing at home in Coors Field, which is obviously one of the best ballparks to hit in. It's by far the most hitter-friendly ballpark. I think this definitely could be a spot where Sean Manaea struggles. The top of that Rockies lineup is really good. They have Connor Joe at the top of that lineup, probably leading off, who's a good hitter, makes contact, doesn't strike out much, will put the ball in play. Then you got Chris Bryant, who's got a lot of power. You got CJ Cron, who's got a lot of power. Charlie Blackmon, even versus a lefty, is still really good. So the top of that Rockies lineup is definitely dangerous. We could maybe see Manaea give up a run in the first inning. If Manaea doesn't give up a run in the first inning, I think there's a good chance that Jose Urena does, because Jose Urena has not been that great this year. He has not made many starts so far this year, but his numbers are not that good. He's only got a 2.51 ERA, which obviously is very low, but his expected ERA is 6.18. Like, he has clearly been getting very, very lucky. He did make a start recently against the Dodgers, pitched like 6 1/3 innings, only gave up like 1 or 2 runs. It was a miracle that that was what his final line was. Like, I think that day the Dodgers' implied run total was like over 6 runs. Like, clearly Vegas does not have much respect for Jose Urena. Pretty much any time a team is facing him, they're going to have a high total. And I don't know what the total is for the Padres right now, like what their team total is, but I would imagine it's probably almost at 6, if not over 6. And the total for this game is like at like 12. So clearly there is going to be a lot of runs expected to be scored in this Coors game. I'm not sure what the weather looks like, but if it's hot, that's another boost as well. I just think with how good the Rockies have been versus lefties this year, even though Manaea is a good pitcher, the Rockies have just been destroying left-handed pitching, especially at home. With how poor of a pitcher Jose Urena is, he could definitely give up a home run to Manny Machado in the first inning, or maybe Jake Cronenworth hits a home run, or someone else at the top of that lineup. Usually these first inning props, they're very volatile. I will admit that, but I'm not going to recommend them. I'm not going to give them out if I don't feel like they're good bets, and I feel like this is a good bet. I mean, the odds back it up. Right now, the over first inning runs in the Rockies, Padres game is set at -175. So I'm going to be taking that over, 0.5 first inning runs allowed. Going to be saying, yes, there will be a run scored in the first inning. Hopefully there will be. If the game gets 12 runs, like if there's 12 total runs scored in that game, like the total suggests, hopefully at least one run gets scored in the first inning, and I think there's a good chance it will. So these are the three props I'm liking for Monday's MLB slate, guys. Over 21.5 fantasy score for Mitch Keller, over 37.5 fantasy score for Max Scherzer, and then we're taking the Yurfee over 0.5 first inning runs allowed in the Padres and Rockies game. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope it helped. Hopefully we can make some money tonight. We can start to get on the right track. And maybe start a little bit of a heater. We've been really struggling with our MLB plays lately, not been doing very well, but I know we're going to turn it around at some point. I know as long as I continue to put the research in, put the work in, and make sure that I'm making the right decisions, that in the end, I'm probably going to be profitable long term, and we're going to turn this around at some point. Been rough lately, but just got to continue to trust the process, continue to put the work in. And I feel good about these 3 plays for Monday. So that's what I'm liking, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope it helped. Hit that like button if you have not yet. Hit that subscribe button as well. Be sure to check out Prizepicks. Sign up for Prizepicks. Use promo code NOAH. When you do, Prizepicks will match your first deposit up to $100 when you do sign up with my promo code. And also, if you want more Prizepicks plays from me, you want to get more content from me, I provide that over on Patreon. You can check that out. Link down below in the description if that is something that does interest you. But yeah, good luck tonight, guys. Thanks for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed. We'll see you in the next one.